Okay, so the final tune, I didn't say I was going to make you sing, but actually this is a bit of a sing-along. And it's kind of fun, kind of catchy, so Chrissy's volunteered over here. She has been my latest addition to the farm, and she's great over at the market. And she's really accomplished singer, and she thought she'd kind of show us up, so she decided to just help us with the placards there. So you'll kind of get the cues. Follow the Sunshine Sisters back here, and she'll hold up the words for you so there's no ambiguity about what you're supposed to be singing. So I talked a little bit at the front end of our little show here about relationship, and I was talking on the farm tour about really what gets me out of bed in the morning is that I firmly believe with the full entirety of my soul that local agriculture is one of the more elegant solutions to a lot of more elegant solutions to a lot of our problems. And some of you agree, and I'm glad you're here. And this next tune is a fun little tune that kind of speaks to that. And it's got a catchy little upbeat, cheery chorus to it. But the verses are pretty kind of grim, I guess. They're basically talking about our current food system. And I want to say this, that everything in relationship is always an evolution, like I say, and so too with our food system. And thank the Lord that we have become the nation that we are in terms of the capacity of caloric production. It really is something to listen to my grandparents' stories about coming home from school and my great-grandpa really doing his best to get excited about having milk and bread for dinner. And he must have been pretty persuasive, because my grandma says as a little girl she thought it was an exciting event when they got milk and bread. And certainly no one, I would think, has to deal with that reality, at least as acutely as so many people did back then. The problem is we did it a little too well, and we're kind of like a little blimpy as a society. And Michael Pollan, he's a really great writer. He looks a lot about how since the 80s we've had this abundance of calories, and so the whole supersize revolution has begun, and it has certainly worked. The other thing is our food system that we developed over this last 100 years was predicated upon two things. One, a sense that the climate is as it is, tomorrow, yesterday, and into the future. And two, that we can kind of count on cheap energy. Those were just givens that you didn't even think about for, up until the mid-90s in terms of a broad-scale consciousness. And of course, we know now that those are not necessarily true anymore. I read Friedman's latest book, Thomas Friedman, Hot, Flat, and Crowded. And of course, he's the guy that wrote The World is Flat, and really talked a lot about global economics and globalization. And boy, you read Friedman's book, and it makes me happy to be on the farm, even though, I haven't got a paycheck in several months. And, so this tune speaks to some of those woes in our current food system, namely the fact that it costs a lot of energy to ship stuff so far, the fact that a lot of our agricultural business has grown very, very large, right? And, we should be wary about things that are too big to fail. And there's definitely a few entities in the food system that are too big to fail in the conventional sense. And the thing that I've talked about is farmland loss. As a nation, as a society, we, for whatever reason, have forgotten about where our food comes from, and because of that, don't really cherish our farmland. And a lot of it goes into just our urban culture and the fact that we're disconnected from rural lifestyle and everything else. So the short of it is, as you all know, we have a power to vote every day, 3 times a day, in fact, when we eat. And that has always been a great motivator for me, which is not to say I don't like you know, some junk food now and again. So I always, I've come to recognize that this isn't about like being a religious zealot or anything. I mean, definitely local food is my theology, but I'm not going to be sort of like this guy that has to be a fundamentalist about it. So it's all about being balanced and everything else. But we do have the ability to make great choices every day. And one of the choices you all made was to come here tonight, which I'm very grateful for. So thank you. With that, let's do a little tune. It's called Buy Local. And like I say, Chrissy will provide you with some leadership there. Follow along with the tune from the Sunshine Sisters, and we'll see where it goes. Check one. A 1, 2, 3. Are you tired of eating produce grown full halfway around the world? Average 1,900 miles from farm to mouth.
Can you believe it?
It's true. Are your eating habits ruining rural lands and rural poor? All the way from Washington to Chile going south. Buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yeehaw.
Make a neighbor.
Make a neighbor.
Like no other.
Like no other.
Buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yes, we can.
Won't you come and join our local market band?
Bring a neighbor.
Are those little baby carrots earning frequent flyer miles? Do they look like sharpened pencils in your hand? Is your lettuce suffering truck lag? Does it nod off during lunch? Then come and join us in our local market band. Buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yeehaw.
Make a neighbor.
Make a neighbor.
Like no other.
Like no other.
Buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yes, we can.
Won't you come and join our local market band?
Bring a neighbor.
Now Philip Morris says they are the biggest food firm in the land. A reason for great confidence, oh you bet. Makes me wonder, do we need a special filter for their food? Just like the one that brings good health to cigarettes. Buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yeehaw.
Make a neighbor.
Make a neighbor.
Like no other.
Like no other.
Buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yes, we can.
Won't you come and join our local market band?
Bring a neighbor.
Now if our agriculture produces the most abundant cheap supply of food God's holy country's ever seen, then why are there more hungry every minute in this country? While we mine the soil to feed this food machine. Everybody now, buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yeehaw.
Make a neighbor.
Make a neighbor.
Like no other.
Like no other.
Buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yes, we can.
Won't you come and join our local market band?
Bring a neighbor.
Now someday when our farmlands have been all asphalted, housed and mauled, and the fuel supply for trucking produce wanes, and when our grandkids ask, hey Grandpa, where'd they get that stuff called food? Then you can sing them this olden time refrain. Everybody now, buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yeehaw.
Make a neighbor.
Make a neighbor.
Like no other.
Like no other.
Buy local.
Buy local.
Adopt a farmer.
Yes, we can.
Won't you come and join our local market band?
Bring your neighbor.
Won't you come and join our local market band?
Bring your neighbor.
Won't you come and join our local market band? Thanks everybody for coming to the Taste of Sunshine. That's our song and we're leaving it there.